Pulls the ball down and then shows a little bit of footwork as well. Stepping half the team, bringing the ball into the midfield. And now the quick release. The Canadians showing their skills right from the get-go, finding it close to the touchline, and now Laundry steps on the inside. Not rolling away, and so an opportunity. Landry was there, rather. Brazil with the turnover. Hamalio, a lovely tackle coming in from Kish, who's been active as the Canadian captain wearing jersey number 7. Not afraid to get into the contact is Santos in jersey number 11 for Brazil. Scatrut. Hamalio again. Another tackle coming in from the Canadian captain. On this occasion, she hasn't rolled away.
Jen Kish, she's going to be in the engine room for the entire game for Canada. I'll just point out before, when they received the kickoff, she was lifted by one of her players. This is key for Canada in competing against some of the other teams who have such excellent high kicks and chases. So good to see that tactic out there already. They're going to be very competitive here at the Dubai 7.
Swarming defence from Brazil early in this game as well. A real feature. You saw when Landry went down that blindside flank that the Brazilians didn't commit too many players there. They appeared to be patient and just wait to see what happened next. As Ishibashi, the 29-year-old, made her debut here a couple of years ago. Plenty of experience, having been here at the 2009 World Cup. The balk, and then they go high. Kish gets up and taps it back. So good work again. Harvey has it. Counter ruck coming in is illegal. Stacey with the quick tap, and now they look to push it wide. Russell gets it on the outside. Moleski unloads, and then the lovely little pop pass on the inside, but brilliant tackle coming in. Then the offload. Here's the first try for Canada. All about support play, running beautiful angles. And 2.5 minutes gone, Canada are on the board.
Well, that was lovely to watch because everybody ran onto it with pace. The passes were accurate, and it was a great team try. Finished up there.
What a build-up the Canadians have had heading into this tournament.
Well, Brazil haven't been too bad off either. They went to LA and trained with the United States team for a week, so they've had a pretty good prep too.
There is the restart, the deep kick where Ishibashi will reclaim the ball, and now she comes back, looks to try and get on the outside of Kish, Jennifer Kish, but the tackle is effective, and now they go a short yards there through Santos. Quickly recycled. Look at the speed off the line from Marchuk. Andy Marchuk just came racing up to close that space down. Ball finally gets released, and there's some players out to the right-hand side for the Brazilians if they look to go that way. Santos took it into contact, and that ball, she's on the ground, and eventually gets to her feet again, does Santos, to release it. No real space or opportunities, and they've held on to the ball, and Kish goes in, gets the penalty, and great defensive work here from Canada.
Yeah, well, for Brazil, they're taking into contact probably a little too much, and a lot of the time they've run into Marchuk or Kish, probably the two players they don't want to run into. Just like to see them keep it out of contact, play with it a little, let the ball do the work for them.
Oh, that's a brilliant touch finder from Canada. Harvey there, she just made sure that the ball went out 5 meters short, and it was actually Landry that scored the first try for Canada. She moves into the second receiver position now. Moleski, part of the Canadian Rugby World Cup team in 2013 from the Williams Lake club in British Columbia. Kish just had it, and then she brought it down and lost it forward, but somebody was offside.
Well, that looked like a set move. It looked like she was trying to get it down to Marchuk instead of going off the top and out wide, because there would have been a little bit of a hole there in between the first 5 in the line out from Brazil.
Melody,
So good tactic.
Yeah, it is. We've seen Brazil do the hard work, and at times when they should release it, because they've certainly got a numerical advantage on the outside, they've gone one too many. They've taken it into contact as well. That's probably the only criticism in the first 5.5 minutes of this game.
Well, they'll work out what pattern they want to use. They've got a good coach in Chris Neal from the Canterbury Rugby Union. He's also coached the Canterbury men's side as well. So it's just a matter of working themselves into their pattern.
Kesh gets up and knocks it down. Marchik says, I'll go forward. Yes, she always does. And possession here for the Canadians. The pass is out to Landry. She's on the outside of the chase. Got plenty of pace, Landry. Ball in 2 hands. Then she puts on the accelerator. 1 to beat. Landry's in. Second try for the Flyer. She had a lot of work to do, and she showed a lot of class. I love the way she held the ball in 2 hands. Good
ball from Maleshi to Landry, but the thing about Landry is that she had the defence second-guessing the whole time. There's the pass, nice and accurate. Once again, hitting it with pace. But look at this, she's just playing with them. She goes in, she goes out, and she ends up stepping on the inside to go over for the 5-pointer. Great work.
Not unfamiliar with this ground, having made her debut here in 2012 from the Toronto Scottish. Not unfamiliar with this ground, having made her debut here in 2012 from the Toronto Scottish club side. Ghislaine Landry. She played it for Bath as well, so spent a little bit of time in the UK. And showing all the skills necessary for Sevens. Ball in 2 hands, keeping the defence guessing. And that's a wonderful start for Canada. Guessing, and that's a wonderful start for Canada. Ishibashi, the captain. How do they respond? Brazil, are they able to score their first try in the match? Certainly had their fair share of possession, taken into contact with Santos, and now they've got an overlap here. And they just kick it into touch and head to the break. 2 tries to Canada. Brazil yet to score. And after 7 minutes, the Canadians lead by 12-0.
I think Canada will want to step up the energy levels a little. Maybe they're conserving. Who knows? It's a long tournament. At the end of the day, it's the sides that last the best that often have the advantage.
Tries, right? Because we expanded and passed, right? So we kick off this half right back to the game plan where we're going to start with. It goes down to that corner. We can't chase on switches. We stay in our lanes. Don't worry about the outside. Condense in. Get ready for the tackle and discipline, right? One time we blew the A roll, it's a penalty. It's the only way they're getting possession is when we break down in discipline, right? And then when we do turn it over, we can't look at the turnover point. It needs to move, right? Because they're playing really tight, which means we've got fresh legs standing on the outside, but we got to expand and move the ball to them right away. Okay? Let's go. 2 minutes hard.
Come on, girls. Wide out, Canada. Take 2 passes on those penalties. Just get it out.
He's been good for them, hasn't he, Mel? John Tate, the 40-year-old, 37 tests for Canada, 6'8". He stands, and they went through a real purple patch there in 2012, 2 years unbeaten in Amsterdam and Vegas. He's been the head coach since 2011, but just softly spoken.
He is. He's certainly a good leader for them. I mean, what we see out there, how they play the game, it's really attractive sevens. They've all got good skills. It's obvious they do put the work into it. They all run from a centralised program, this Canadian squad. It's amazing to think they have not won one of these legs on the IRB Women's Series for the last 2 seasons.
Magali Harvey gets us underway for the second 7 minutes. 2 tries to 0. So both the messages from both coaches. Hamadio into contact, quickly released, and now the Brazilians look to try and find some space out on this right-hand flank. Still inside there, 22. That's not a problem in sevens, provided you've got possession and you're holding on to it, as Skartrut did so well. Here's the captain for them, Ishibashi, but she's Lost the ball forward, no real advantage, and so the defence from Canada is swarming and just racing up.
Well, the intent from Brazil is different from the first half. They've listened to their coach. They want to move it away from the area of contact. The only problem with that was their passing wasn't quite accurate enough. That gave the Canadian defence the time to get up.
South American champions for 9 years consecutively are Brazil. They finished 9th on the Women's World Series. Quarterfinals last year here, where they lost to New Zealand by 40 points to 7. Made the plate semi and lost to Spain by 7 points to 5. 1,409 registered players in Brazil, but they've got something like 31,276 participants. So there's plenty of people playing the sport in Brazil. And Skartrud gets the ball and tries to get on the outside of Maleski. She got the angle, but certainly closes down. She releases the ball and has all rights to get up and play it again. She's done it. Here goes the captain, Ishibashi. Too quick! Ishibashi's in, and finally Brazil get their first try in the 2015 season.
So Skartrud started it all with her out-and-out pace, out wide. Some brilliant running from her. Here she is. 2 defenders had to come in. She had the right attitude to get on her feet, give her player enough time to get there, and then Ishibashi over for the try on that short side where there was no defensive player. Sweeper just too late to get across.
Captain, fantastic pull-up, Ishibashi, her 7th try in her career. And the conversion unsuccessful, but that is just what the Brazilian doctor ordered. They needed to score first, and they've done that. 12-5. 4.5 to play.
In front of the winning house.
The all-important kickoff. Set piece in sevens is crucial. And they spend hours, tens of thousands of hours just working this out, and that's a lovely little kick as well, because it's gone to a quiet 10 metres. Getting up is Harvey. She's holding on to the ball, trying to buy some time, taking in the tackle of Skartrud. Gets up and goes again, does Harvey, but now she finds her way in touch. And an infringement there means the Canadians have possession. Quickly tapped and pushed out to Kish. What a great pass. And they're still in possession, and that's the most important thing in sevens, is just to hold on to it. Lovely ball shown in 2 hands. Aladi races away to score try number 3. She's got an accounting degree, and that's beautiful skills, Mel, especially the way that she showed it in 2 hands. The dummy, they all took it, and then she was gone.
Great heads-up play from Canada, because they knew that the Brazilian defence was basically stacked up on the other side, so they moved the ball quickly. And Ellery, nice little dummy, swerved on the inside, went straight through the hole. Good way to reply.
28-year-old. Started with the Canadian team in Guangzhou some 2 years ago. Has coached rugby, basketball and hockey at high school level. So good to see their enthusiasm still very much in the game as John Tate looks on. Would have been a little bit concerned with the way that the Brazilians had scored first, but that's a sign of a class act and a classy side when they can strike back straight away as they have. Here's the try scorer for Brazil. Ishibashi running across the field, 2 dummy cuts, and then she throws the ball along the ground. She'll be disappointed with that.
The second cutter there should have ran their lines, stayed outside her. She should have straightened up and passed. Then they would have had a 3-on-2 situation there. Just experience and assessing the defence and where they're moving.
More changes from both sides. Zanoui throws it in, Kish gets high, but it's not straight. We've seen a little bit of that today, and well, no real surprise. It is the first day, it is the first few games for a lot of these teams, and no doubt by day 2, those mistakes just won't occur.
Well, there's always pressure at line-out time. It's not as easy as it seems. Most of it's been crooked throws.
Green Shields also on the field for Canada, so they're rotating the players, they're getting everybody involved in day 1. Good counter ruck coming in from the Brazilian team. That's been pass has been intercepted here. And Canada now go on to the attack, 5 short. Kesh gets in, she clears it out. This will be another try. And here's the hat trick for Landry. 2 in the first half, 1 in the second. And all from the mistake by the Brazilians inside their own 22.
Yeah, it was a mistake. It was also great pressure on Dee once again. And Jen Kish getting in. Here's a mistake. Intercepted. Really great work. Kish gets in, moves the ball quickly from that ruck. And that gave Landry the opportunity in a bit of space. Another try for her. Wow, what a standout in this first match for Canada.
First to register a hat-trick here in Dubai for 2014-15 in the Women's 7 Series. And a couple of players who have got the double. Landry the first with the hat-trick, and now she's going to get some valuable time on the bench.
Yeah, lots of subs being used so far, especially by the more experienced teams. I know 2 days of sevens is hard work in the heat.
It's all about player welfare, isn't it? Making sure that you're giving your players enough time on the field. Also, more importantly, that you're keeping those combinations, because combinations win matches. She's both on attack and defence. Ishibashi with a big wide pass, and now they've got some space out here. The Brazilian wide pass, and now they've got some space out here. The Brazilians, then we've got a chance, a little bit of footwork, stepping, getting on the inside, and then just breaking away. Now it comes down to the foot race. Couture here on debut. What a moment for the young girl. Looks inside, gets the speed wobbles, but she's going to score. 28 years old, and she had a lot of work to do. That's class.
Well, they wanted to push it out wide, didn't they? In that pass from Ishibashi. Well done to her. Reacted in the end. It got in the hands of this young lady, Couture, and she just put the pedal on the gas, went for it. It was great to see. And you can't say there's fatigue happening for Canada, because there are a lot of subs on, so they'll be very happy with that try.
Doesn't that just prove try and try and try again, making your debut at 28 years young? Too little, too late for Brazil, though. Canada have beaten the hosts of the Summer Olympics by 26 points to 10.
How long did it?